Hello and welcome to another special episode of HW Straight Drive with me Anil Rajput and our sports editor Mahesh Kote. The World Cup is on and India in the last game smashed South Africa while Australia won the game against West Indies with a narrow margin. So Mahesh, do you think India has an upper hand over Australia?
India performed extremely well against South Africa. There was a very clinical performance, whereas Australia struggled to beat the West Indies. Going forward, according to me, if India brings their A game to the ground and if Australia also gets their A game to the ground, it will be a treat for the spectators. India's toughest match, according to me, will be the match against Australia.
In the last game, India played with four top bowlers. Bumrah was flawless, the spinners got wicket, but Bhuvi was able to get just one wicket. Do you think in the next game, India should play with 5 bowlers and especially with 3 fast bowlers?
See, it all depends on overcast conditions. If the conditions are overcast and if there is if the situation is for seam bowling, I'm sure India will take all the 3 fast bowlers. India's biggest problem is their tailenders. I don't think they have a tailenders. I mean, none of these tailenders can actually go out and score a lot of runs. So our batting, in fact, ends at about 7 or 8. The last 2-3 batsmen can hardly hold the bat. Because of that, they had to drop Shami and get in Bhuvi. Because if you look at the credibility as a batsman, Bhuvi scores over Shami. The 2 spinners, I don't think Chahal can bat well, neither can Bumrah bat well. So all these things will be taken into account when India decides on the 11 that's going to play against Australia. But Australia being a tough team, you can expect a very, very exciting game.
Both Virat and Shikhar Dhawan are said to be playing well against Australia. Both nearly played in the last game against South Africa. Do you think they would repeat their performance against Australia in the next match?
See, like what I told you earlier, India's match against Australia is going to be the toughest game. So it is for India's own interest that Virat steps up and leads from the front. An informed Virat can actually decimate the opposition. Shikhar Dhawan off late has not been in great form. If you see, even in the warm-up games and in this in the first game of the World Cup, he hasn't set the stage on fire. That will be a little bit of cause for concern because he's got Rahul breathing down his neck. If Shikhar Dhawan's form continues to be poor, I won't be surprised if Rahul is taken in as an opener.
The only player which has not been discussed quite often in the Indian team is Kedar Jadhav. He has been included in the team as an all-rounder, spinning all-rounder and a batsman. But his performance is not that up to the mark. Do you think he should be replaced by Vijay Shankar or Dinesh Karthik in that matter?
See, he came into the squad as an injured player. They gave him time. He's recovered, hopefully. He bowled a few overs the other day. So, he has yet to bat. So, when he bats, we'll know whether he is in form or not. I would also be very tempted to take somebody like Vijay Shankar if the conditions are overcast because he can bowl a little bit of seam bowling. But if you see, Dhoni and Virat have a lot of faith in Kedar Jadhav. If you see, Kedar Jadhav bowled the other day a few overs and he was able to hold the things around together. But we'll have to wait and see how his performance is with the bat. I'm sure he'll get an opportunity to bat against Australia.
The Australian top order nearly failed against the West Indian bowling. The highest performer was Nair, who's been known as a bowler. Do you think the Indian bowling has an upper hand over an Australian batting order?
See, all this will depend as to who will win the toss. If India wins the toss and the conditions are heavy, and if Australia comes out to bat, I won't be surprised if Australia lose another 3 or 4 wickets in the first 15 overs. The same thing could happen to India as well. If India bats first on seaming conditions, Australia's bowling attack, let me tell you, is one of the best, if not the best in the world. They've got Stark, they've got Nair, they've got Cummins. 3 very, very good bowlers. And then they've got Zampa and Stoinis who bowled well yesterday. The 6th bowler, of course, is Maxwell. But then in overcast conditions, I think these 3 pace bowlers can be more than a handful.
So who could be the key players for both the team in the next game?
See, for India, if India has to actually fire and score runs, it has to be Virat and Rohit will have to play extremely well. The bowling, of course, will depend on how well Bumrah can bowl because Bumrah can bowl the initial overs and come back and bowl very well in the death overs. So for India, these are the 3 players who need to stand up and be counted. For Australia, I think David Warner, he had an off day the other day like Virat had it in the first match. He will want to go out and prove. It was very heartening to see Steve Smith coming and playing well. He dug himself in because when he came in, the ball was moving around. The West Indian bowlers had their tails up, but he stood there. He tided over the tough situation and then along with a lot of other players took the score to where they reached finally.
In the next game, a win by both of the team would have a psychological advantage over the rest of the team. What are your predictions for this match?
See, my heart says that it's going to be India. And for a change, my head also says it has to be India. Because if you look at the performance of the Indian team over Australia, in Australia, India were very successful. When Australia came out here, they beat India. So they're almost even Steven. But in overcast conditions, and with somebody like Bumrah and Bhuvi bowling very well, and if India wins the toss, then India have got a great chance. So I think all this will depend on who wins the toss and what is the condition that day.
With the tournament nearly opened up and two heavyweights clashing on Sunday, hope we get to see a good match. Till then, it's goodbye from all of us.
HW News Network today is a year and a half old. Thanks to your support, thanks to your love, we've grown. We require your support a little more. What we request you to do is to download our free app. Our app is in Hindi, English and Marathi. We promise to update you with the latest news, views, analysis, interview. We also have a live TV going in that. If you download our app, we will get advertisers. And if we get advertisers, we'll get revenue. We get revenue, we can serve you better. So once again, please do support us. Please download our app. Namaskar.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.